What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today, it's the most wonderful time of the year, where, like Jason Voorhees, Call of Duty makes its inevitable return.
What's up, niggas? I'm back.
The hype and worry begins anew. Here comes Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Modern Warfare 2019 was the best COD in years, according to myself. So, Treyarch has some big shoes to fill. With a new generation of consoles on the horizon, expectations are higher than ever. But many questions remain. Will this new story return to the series' awesome roots? Will the map selection expand beyond small 3-lane locations? And has Treyarch learned from their mistakes and campaign blunder in Black Ops 4? Well, let's get our nukes armed and jump straight into this.
Tactical nuke ready for launch.
Unsurprisingly, Black Ops Cold War is another soft reboot, and I can't blame them because Modern Warfare 2019... You gotta be fucking shitting me. Unsurprisingly, Black Ops Cold War seems to be another soft reboot, and I can't blame them for taking this route because what else is there? You know me, I love a good controversy, even more so when it's Call of Duty rustling the jimmies of certain people out there. One thing I often highlight in my COD reviews is how basing the story and setting on real wars and events adds credibility to the narrative, especially in a series based on war. That's because figures like John F. Kennedy, Fidel Castro, and Ronald Reagan are recognizable, historically important, and that's what originally made Black Ops 1 and the original Call of Duty so awesome, was its depiction of war. I can't tell you how hyped I am for this new direction. I've always felt like the Cold War was an untapped goldmine for this series. It fits perfectly with the Black Ops theme. We're going back to undercover secret operations.
Every mission we go on is illegal.
That's what it's about, baby. Unless you have some garbage writers, it's gonna be really hard for Treyarch to screw this up. Especially with fan favorite characters Hudson and Woods returning. Although, I come bearing sad news, for the original Frank Woods voice actor will not reprise his role in Cold War.
No! No!
James Burns, I feel your pain. This is what he had to say on video.
Matt Edwards, why the fuck didn't they call you to reprise the role? I don't know, Matt. I got no idea what happened. I don't know why they didn't reach out. I don't know if I'm that hard to work with, but me and Woods don't have a lot of separation sometimes, so I get very adamant and I have a lot of strong opinions, but a lot of the great lines have come from my attitudes and my strong opinions, so...
You think I'm fucking nuts? This guy.
There's so many things I don't know.
Because God forbid an actor connect with his character or his fans or any of that stuff that Activision doesn't seem to care about, like their fans.
Hey, TPM 007, we don't know, man. I'm sure the story's gonna be fucking brilliant. Just that if I could have brought all that I know, like I got 80,000 pounds of weight to bring to this thing. Not a knock on whoever they got in there, but he doesn't have the background I have with Woods. I got 11 years with this guy, man. And I have all this backstory and all this front-loaded stuff. And I know, man, not that this guy's not going to do a good job. I'm sure he was a professional actor. I'm sure he'll do fine. But, I would have fucking crushed this thing. That's my frustration. That's all. I wish I had a shot at it.
This is the price we pay for what we do.
I don't know what the deal is with Call of Duty and not getting the original voice actors for fan favorite characters. It sounds like Treyarch didn't even offer him or give him a chance, which is kinda shitty. To be fair, Barry Sloan did a fantastic job with Price in Modern Warfare.
You want the gloves off? They're off.
So we'll just have to wait and see. The Perseus trailer showed off some dank graphics, character models, gave us a taste of the story, and most importantly, we witnessed the most authentic 80s haircut ever in a video game. While I might be sold on the premise and direction, Treyarch is going to have to prove that they can step it up. So I want to talk about the PS5 showcase because that came out while I was editing this video. Quick thoughts? It looked pretty good, the body shield mechanic was interesting, but it doesn't really feel like an upgrade from Modern Warfare. So what do we know right now? Well, I always enjoy the build up to a new game. It's a time of speculation, theories, and predictions. Side note, I gotta give mad props to Treyarch and Infinity Ward for the way they handled the reveal by putting it in Warzone, having players complete certain objectives to earn the reward of seeing it. That was awesome. There's been a huge dump of info with a 4-hour live stream, tons of gameplay to look over and analyze. I've done most of the work for you, compiling the most important things in my opinion. What do we know so far? Well, November 13th is the official release date, and unlike Cyberpunk 2077, if you buy Cold War on current gen, your ass is not getting a free upgrade. Instead, there's a cross-gen bundle which costs an additional $10. Now, I didn't expect any pro-consumer strategy from Activision, and I'm still disappointed. But still, this year's Call of Duty is interesting, because Sledgehammer Games has been told to hit the bench while Treyarch takes the lead on offense and Raven Software backs them up on defense. This is the first break in Call of Duty's development cycle that's been in place since Modern Warfare 3. And hell, it's about time. Personally, I've always found Sledgehammer's COD games to be the weakest. They tend to create the most vanilla and basic safe experiences. Yet it's somewhat worrying because of the timing. When was the decision to cut Sledgehammer out of things made? And will that result in a rushed development? We can only speculate. Moving on, have you heard the word of our Lord and Savior, the Battle Pass? He has promised to free us from the evils of the loot box, and all who follow him will be granted a safe space in video game heaven. But you heard that right, Cold War is not going down loot box lane. With the hullabaloo caused by Battlefront 2, loot boxes seem to be a fading trend at this point. But apparently the battle passes make way more goddamn money. So again, likely not a change made with the consumer's interest in mind, and that does concern me. Battle passes have their own problems with timed content, but right now they seem far less devious than loot boxes, and I couldn't be happier. Treyarch's strategy for Cold War is intriguing as it won't have its own Battle Royale mode. Instead, the chips are in a split pot with Modern Warfare. Content and progression will be shared, new weapons and equipment will be added that can be used in both games. This seems to be the new direction for a lot of companies. Cross-platform, cross-generation, and now cross-game progression. That's a selling point.
Connected experiences that deliver free, robust, ongoing content and integrate deeply into the next evolution of Warzone.
I think this is great because it allows fans to play the games they want on the platform of their choice without feeling like they're separated from the greater community. It also means that Call of Duty isn't trying to compete with last year's Call of Duty. Unfortunately for me, all of this stuff will be tied to your Activision account, and if you try to unlink it and don't link the correct account, you are fucked, like me. I lost all my stuff, can't relink my Modern Warfare account for another year, and it is impossible to get in touch with Activision support. Warzone is pretty dang good in Modern Warfare, so I like that Call of Duty isn't oversaturating its own market with the same experience, though I do prefer Blackout. Now let's shift our gaze to the campaign. I still don't know what the hell story Black Ops 4 was supposed to have, and judging from the achievement percentage, nobody cared either. So we have the Cold War setting, right? Gee, I wonder who the villains are gonna be. Tanzanians? It's gonna be Russians again. Now, you know what I wanna see? A story where undercover agents from the US and Soviet Union almost team up to try to prevent both sides from annihilating each other in a nuclear war. Wouldn't that be awesome? Add some depth and complexity? I doubt that's the route they're gonna take. This year, Treyarch is really emphasizing player choice and customization within the campaign, and it's going to have, guess what? Guess what? Branching narrative paths, decisions that matter and affect the conclusion of the story. Woo! Black Ops 2, baby! Black Ops 2 was so good! Dialogue options, open-ended mission objectives, A non-strictly linear campaign? Yes, the things we've been asking for. If this isn't a hashtag gamer moment, I don't know what is. Back when I reviewed BO2, I was blown away by how dynamic the story was. Our expectations for this series have been funneled into this strictly linear style, and it is so refreshing when COD breaks from that. It's inspiring to hear that they're giving the Black Ops 2 formula another shot. Yet there is still cause for concern, as the idea of creating and customizing your protagonist was something that another game did, and it sucked ass.
She's messing with my mind. What about what's going on in that pinhead of yours?
Who you calling pinhead?
Also, there's this. You'll choose your personality, traits, gender, with a classified option that uses gender-neutral pronouns in appearance. What's that, kid? You want to know my gender? My gender?
That's classified.
Dan Vondrak, the creative director, said, "We didn't want to exclude anybody." Now, as admirable as that may be, sometimes a game that tries to appeal to everyone ends up appeasing no one.
That's enough, Hendrix!
This could lead to a lifeless protagonist who we don't feel connected to, but I remain hopeful. The plot is promising. Ronald Reagan assembles the Black Ops team to discover Perseus, a real-life Soviet agent who was believed to have leaked American nuclear secrets to the USSR. But now let's discuss the live stream and gameplay we've seen.
This is an unapologetically Cold War game set in the 80s, but it's still a Black Ops game.
One thing I can always appreciate about the COD series is its unapologetic nature. For better or worse, the developers never seem to cave to peer pressure when it comes to, oh, you shouldn't show that, or this is insensitive. Except for China. Not even with their massive balls is the COD franchise willing to stand up against China's censorship. They altered the trailer and cut out the Tiananmen Square footage, which is really dumb. But everything David Vonderhaar says here is good stuff.
The Cold War we set out to build is realistic. It's plausible. Most importantly, it's inspired by a gritty historical tone that we've woven into every element of our game's world and story and gameplay.
It's important to interweave the narrative and location with the multiplayer maps. It creates a unified feeling.
For Black Ops Cold War, that world building drove each multiplayer level in two ways. With the signature level design you've come to expect.
Say again, Bravo. What level design are you talking about? What level design? I repeat, what? Oh, okay, you had me spooked for a second. Like I said before, standard 3-lane maps aren't inherently bad. In fact, Modern Warfare 2019 showed that you really do need a few of them. You just can't base every level on the same thing. Unlike COD World War II's War Mode, Deniable Operations looks like an actual competitor to Battlefield 1's Operations. Treyarch's goal is to create maps tailor-made for a specific type of gameplay, but also building maps with a narrative in mind, based on missions that were off the books. Ooh, talk about captivating. The core gameplay looks kinda similar to Modern Warfare, at least in style, feeling, and user interface, yet I don't see any mounting, tactical sprint, or doors, really any of the new mechanics that Modern Warfare brought with it to differentiate itself. It seems like overall, Black Ops Cold War is kind of just a return to classic Call of Duty, for better or worse. In terms of game modes, Ground War is set to return, but I don't think it's going to be as chaotic or massive as Modern Warfare's was. Traditional modes like TDM, Domination, Hardpoint will all be here as expected. But this fire team sounds interesting. I'd say 99% of all multiplayer shooters, except Battle Royale, pit two teams against each other. And imagine the unique gameplay opportunities when you add 4 teams of 10. Ooh, it gets real spicy there. Remember how awesome multi-team was in Halo 3? I'm looking forward to this mode. VIP sounds like a good idea in concept, but COD players aren't really known for their teamwork, so... Now, is it me, or is the sound design really tame? I mean, guns don't have the same blasting impact that Modern Warfare had. Remember that video where the animation designer was just like, you're next, and...
Even the reload, I mean, you're next, and it turns it over and then just bap, bap.
The animations and sounds just feel uninspired, generic. I really expected a lot more coming off the last game. Cold War isn't built on the same engine as MW, It feels more like classic Call of Duty. Either way, we'll always have Modern Warfare should Cold War just not satisfy the itch. Now, this boat map, Armada, looks sick. This is the exact type of layout and design the series needs to experiment with. Gotta respect Call of Duty keeping vehicles, tanks, boats a staple of the gameplay. Isn't it bizarre how only a year ago were vehicles reintroduced in COD? Like they hadn't been relevant since World at War. The levels appear to be dynamic, but without the hundreds of different hidey holes and directions you can shoot or get shot from. This has the potential to create the perfect balance and become the bridge between the complaints and praise around Modern Warfare's map design. But I doubt it because the geometry looks very blocky and formulaic. I want to point out the boats and layout create unique encounters. Just one example, you can position a boat to create cover for yourself. And that's awesome because it means the map won't be entirely static. Treyarch has always been good about adding little gimmicks to make things more interesting, and I really hope they do that. Static maps can get boring. Remember that Advanced Warfare level that split off into a second section halfway through the match? It was epic. The shooting and weapon handling looks too fast, less realistic, tough, and weighty than Modern Warfare. However, Gunsmith is going to make a return, and I'm hyped about that. Pick 10 system, get out of here. We're sticking with the classic setup, although Cold War has score streaks and not kill streaks. I don't like the way it sounds. It seems like you need to read a paragraph just to understand how it works. In some ways, Black Ops Cold War feels like a step back from all the cool shit that Modern Warfare added. But it could also be the best Black Ops game to date. Hopefully Treyarch corrects many of the mistakes that Infinity Ward initially made and had to patch, like claymores, camping, footsteps, the 725, all the balance issues. If Treyarch comes out the gate clean, it'll be a much better launch than what we saw last year. Overall, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War seems to be splitting off from Modern Warfare's direction, a more traditional Call of Duty experience. And with my first impressions, it seems like Cold War is downgrading, removing, and losing a bit of that life and spark that Modern Warfare had. Still, I am beyond thrilled watching gameplay and listening to every juicy detail. I am somewhat worried about the questionable Battle Pass system, not to mention whatever PlayStation exclusivity bullshit they pull this year.
Starting this Friday, PlayStation players will be able to play the multiplayer alpha exclusively on PlayStation 4.
Oh, fuck me.
Hopefully they don't lock players out of a major game mode for a whole year. But if it ain't too bold or early to say, I'm pretty confident right now. My fucking light just went off, it has lost battery, but we're gonna power through this. Ditching loot boxes, emphasizing crossplay, the setting and timeline of the Cold War, integrating real historical aspects into its story and multiplayer with dynamic map design coupled with free DLC for everyone, a Black Ops game that doesn't feel cartoony. It's like Treyarch read part of my manifesto on what I love about this series. I loved Black Ops 4's zombie mode, so hopefully it travels in a similar direction. As it stands, Cold War looks very interesting and somewhat promising. I cannot wait to get my hands on the beta and see for myself. Until then, what do you think of Cold War? Let me know if your gender is classified in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to The Act Man for more awesome content. Alright everyone, that's all I got for today. This is The Act Man signing out. Peace!